The cattle prod thing was my idea. But it wasn't a cattle prod. It was the one that shoots in you and lights you up like a freaking Christmas tree. That's the one I wanted. That was my idea, because if you beat me, you have to like put 50,000 volts through me. But for some reason, they didn't want to do that. Hence, the goofy-looking cattle prod. But I wanted him to shoot the barbs in me and light me up. So just a little FYI that I don't know if I've told anybody, but that's the true story. I'm still pissed off. Because that was my birthday.
Let's go to that straight away before we talk about anything else with WCW. It's the big thing that everybody talks about is the loss of the streak that happened, and it was Kevin Nash at Starrcade, and people seem to either be talking about the fact that it's Kevin Nash, or they talk about the fact that it was the cattle prod. Can you talk a little bit about what your mindset was about being a guy who's kind of new in the wrestling business? You've got this unbelievable popularity and streak, and it's going to come to an end. I mean, it's going to come to an end at some point, but what was your feelings about it?
The reason, I think the main reason why they chose to do what they did was that they thought the popularity and they thought the steam that I had gained was waning. They thought that, people didn't care anymore, the chants were getting, less loud, and they thought it was time for a change. At that point in my career, I'm a worker. I don't give opinions as far as direction of storylines. That's not my job. That's not what I get paid to do. I show up and I do what they tell me to do. Most of the time. It wasn't my place to really give an opinion there. I'd been in the business for such a short period of time, and I was so greatly appreciative of everything that I had accomplished or been given or been in the right place at the right time that, hey, man, it wasn't my deal. There are guys that have been in that business for 20 years, and who the hell is this Goldberg guy that, gets all the best of everything within 6 months of him getting in the business? Who the hell does he think he is, one not to lose? So I mean, it wouldn't have come off. It wouldn't have come off very well. So I sat back and I did my thing, and I thought that all good things must come to an end, or all good things must have a bump in the road. And it's not about how high you get; it's about how high you get up after you fall down. So the streak defined me in a little bit, but it didn't really explain the entire situation. I didn't really need. I mean, the streak was cool because it was organic. It was something that wasn't planned. Nobody had any clue. It was they hadn't okay. This is telling you a little bit about the future that they forecast for my character. Universal Studios. We did dark matches down there, and I think it was my first dark match ever. And Jody Hamilton, the guy who ran the power plant at the time, obviously Dwayne Bruce did. He was the lead trainer, but Jody Hamilton was at the front, and I come up and they introduced the guy I'm wrestling, a guy named Manny Fernandez, and he asked me, he says, "So what do you want us to call you?" I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "What's your name?" And I said, "Goldberg." He goes, No, what's your wrestling name?" And I said, "Well, call me the Hybrid." Hey, I thought it was cool. Don't laugh at me. I thought it was cool because, a hybrid. I was a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I was Mike Tyson. I was Joe, I was Howie Long. I was John Matuzak, and I was a wrestler at the same time. And I could do martial arts. And so he looks at me and he says, "You can't be the hybrid because what if we do merchandise?" I said, "Merchandise? What is that? There's no way that I'm ever going to have a shirt. I mean, I'm just, here to do my thing, and I don't foresee that happening." And he goes, "Oh, the hell with it. Call you Goldberg." He says, "What's your finish?" I said, "Well, what do you mean? What's a finish?" He goes, "What do you need? You got to do something at the end of the match to be really impactful, to finish the match." I said, "Okay." And I went out in the ring, and I looked at Manny Fernandez, and we hadn't gone over before him. And I said, Manny, do you trust me? He reluctantly said yes. And I said, then at the end of the match, you tuck your chin, you spread your legs, and kiss your ass goodbye. And I proceeded to run him over like I'd never run anybody over before, except for like Emmitt Smith or something like that back in the football days. And I came to the back, and Jody's mouth was on the floor. He goes, whatever you just did, you do that every single time. I said, okay, that's pretty easy because it's a football tackle. So, I mean, that was my beginning. I really didn't foresee any big kind of streak or anything like that happening. So I was always appreciative of an opportunity to grow as a person by getting into a new niche, a new business, and trying to make a name for myself and hopefully making it towards the top. So everything I was given in the wrestling business, I mean, I worked very hard, but everything that I obtained in the wrestling business, it didn't give me an attitude to where I thought I knew everything, okay? So I was not a booker. I was not a guy who really put